Great days and glorious victory! My name is Spifflemonk, and welcome to something I never thought even existed. This game is called DayZ. It's some kind of multiplayer PvP-based game with zombies and realistic survival aspects. Now, this is going to be the only time I play this game ever, because I actually had to beg Rubik's Raptor to get this ready to go so I could record some footage for it. Apparently this game has been abandoned for decades, so nobody really cared enough to keep anything running. Spiff starts up the game from a third-party launcher and loads into the game. Shortly before this, however, the Ignis Company logo, Rubik's faction, appears on the screen, followed by Rubik's signature JPEG puppet animation. Salve, Greta Omnibus! And I'm gonna start speaking Latin now because Latin is a very recently resurrected language, and unfortunately they haven't quite gotten to the point where it can express concepts such as orbital assault starship or anti-tank rifle. But anyway, my name's Rubik's. You might know me from when I played with Spiff during our sojourn to the ice moon of Europa, in the maze of Coast Spaghetti that was the first barotrauma. That was interesting. The screen changes to some small snippets of the barotrauma video with everyone screaming, dying while screaming, or screaming while dying. The screen then changes back to DayZ and Rubik's puppets. In response to Spiffle's editor Francine going almost psychotically insane trying to edit the entity of infinitely moddable evil known as the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, I have graciously offered to take over editing on this particular video. This will be a very short sojourn into the horrible maze of this ancient relic, and we had to go through so much of a pain in the ass to set it up because DayZ sucks ass when it comes to its actual code. For our non-human viewers, DayZ started life as a mod for a game called Arma 2, then a mod for Arma 3, then using Arma 3's engine gained its own spark of life as a standalone game. The screen changes to reflect this, showing the publisher logo, snippets of gameplay from the respective games, and screenshots of the rather murky development cycle. However, with the rise of the now infamous Arma 4 resurgence, DayZ Standalone effectively faded into oblivion and was promptly forgotten. The game effectively became too much of a hassle to maintain by itself, and the original creator of the DayZ mod, along with a few DayZ modders, eventually decided to just go with modding an infinitely easier and better coded framework that was Arma 4. As the mods developed, the engine improved and the devs gained better traction with the game, and therefore better funding. The DayZ mod for Arma 4 effectively replaced DayZ Standalone. A series of screens pop up, showing how DayZ went from an average of around 60,000 players at peak to barely making around 100 players per week, followed by a screenshot showing how Bohemia Interactive shut down all official servers and cut all future content for DayZ Standalone. So, here's the important question. Why, in all God's green earth, are we, 400 years past the game's shutdown, playing it now, especially as heavily modded as it is? A few moments of awkward silence follow, as Rubik's JPEG puppet slowly approaches the screen. We don't know! The screen shows a blooper reel of the process of getting a server set up, making the game work with modern computers, and trying to fix an issue with some kind of file called a BPO file, somehow making the game not work for some strange reason. The screen is also overlaid with the iconic voices of Quail, Web Knight and Rubik's, all collectively ripping their hair out and yelling at the game aggressively while they try to fix it and get it working. In any case, it's too late to complain about it. Eventually we did manage to get it working, and I spontaneously decided to turn it into an RP, that is, roleplay event, based around a group of a few hundred survivors of the zombie apocalypse. This playthrough takes place on the now infamous map of Charnos, the first ever map to be featured in a DayZ mod or game, all the way back in 2009. Don't worry, after this we treated Spiffle to an actual DayZ playthrough by putting him through the ringer in the DayZ mod pack for Arma 6. Link in the description for the mod. The screen once again switches to new images and short snippets of Ignis Company being attacked by a giant flaming zombie bear, a video of Spiff being held hostage by Quail and his bandit clan, and Rubik's crashing a helicopter full of dudes into the middle of a zombie horde. So yeah, look forward to that! This video series will be in 2 parts, The first will be on the now defunct and laid to pasture DayZ Standalone, following a roleplay event with Ignis Company, being a group of ragtag survivors looking to evacuate by salvaging aircraft from various locations to escape the map. The second video will be the unhinged antics of my unhinged group, unhingingly unhinging the fabric of reality as we face up against the mod's boss zombie on the moon. Yes, that is indeed as unhinged as it sounds. The screen changes and shows more snippets of Spiffle being bitch-slapped into the atmosphere by a giant zombified biochemical bear monster as it plows through a squad of terrified Ignis members. The puppets resume, this time not of Rubik's, but Spiffle. Spiff's voice can be heard as the intro starts to play.
This is going to be insane. My therapist is making bank by being around these blasted humans all the time. I need a holiday.
In response, the puppets of Rubik's, Quail, Web Knight, and several other notable Ignis members all pop up and a chorus of mocking laughter can be heard as the screen fades to black. Spiffle picks a random spawn spot as he gets into the server, and the first thing he sees is a tree. The graphics, even by modern standards, are very, very dated, but the game seems to run well enough.
Ah, here we are, in... Seems a standard layout for a game, I suppose. Hotbar for presumably stuff I can use like guns. Looks like this game has survival mechanics like food and water. Inventory is... Oh! Grid-based with dimensions. I've never used this system before. Looks very interesting. Okay, so I use buttons to change slots and rotate items to fit. Okay, looks like I've got everything understood. M opens a map. I start with a stone knife, a pistol, and some rags. A thing called an apple, and a... Franta, apparently. I assume those are food items. Okay, so how do I get more?
Spiff wanders around, eventually coming across a house and goes inside it.
Ah, okay, so that's how I get things. Random spawns of random things randomly on the ground inside houses. Okay, I've been playing these games long enough to get the idea for how the system works. Now, what do we have?
Spiff finds a can of tuna, a steak knife, and a fishing hat in the main room, and has the lucky find of a mountaineer's backpack in the bedroom of the house, drastically increasing his inventory space.
Oh, lovely! That's good, a backpack. That's a lucky find, I think. Now, oh, I forgot. I also have a note in my inventory. Let's see. What does it say?
Spiff opens the note and reads it aloud for the audience.
To whomever finds this, we are the last alive. There is a carrier fleet anchored in the Hawaiian Islands, and we are using it as a staging point to retake the area from the infected. We need all the support we can get. If you feel so inclined, gather whatever aircraft or boats you can find, and come to these coordinates. We can reclaim the world. It starts with Hawaii. Glory to the Covenant!
Spiff quickly scrambles to retrieve something from a drawer nearby and puts on a pair of comedy eyebrows. He moves them in a way that gives him the exaggerated expression of a man in deep thought.
Deep this story goes. Right! Map. Let's see the airport. I am currently south of, Berezino. So now I need to go towards Krasno. The long bit there, presumably that's an airfield. Berezino I can use to loot on the way. I wonder if this game has vehicles. Maybe I can get lucky and find one.
Spiff plays as normally as he can, equipping and readying the pistol he was given. Only a 9mm, but better than nothing. He gets hold of a crowbar and some rope, as well as a very necessary component for an engine, a spark plug, and heads into the main city. He heads into the main harbour and encounters his first infected. Unfortunately, a bit too late.
Ow! What? Why am I bleeding? Ow! Stop! What is that?
He finally notices what's attacking, and he aims his pistol at it and empties the whole mag into it in a panic. He's bleeding, injured, and his health is rapidly failing, so he quickly climbs a shipping container nearby and starts to panic.
Oh! Bleeding, hurt! Bleeding and hurt! How do you heal? Apple? No. Rags? Yes! Come on, please!
He hastily heals himself and, in his panic, fails to notice the horde of infected now swarming his position. The gunfire alerted the entire area to his presence, and every zombie within the dockyard is trying to claw at him.
Well, shit. How do I get down here? How many of them are there? How? Let's see. Reload gun. How many bullets do I... Not enough. Maybe I can thin the herd and run? Let's see. Headshots only, maybe?
Spiff fires a bullet into one of the infected, and it goes down for good in one shot. He quickly learns the ropes and uses all of the ammunition he has, missing 1 or 2 shots because of a bit of lag, but thins the horde at least a decent amount, cutting their numbers by half. Sadly, it is not enough. He has no more ammunition.
Well, bugger. What was the things again? Oh, hello!
He uses the in-game voice chat to call for help, and Spiff craps himself as help arrives in the form of a badly damaged Humvee that crashes into the horde out of nowhere, catching fire because of how badly damaged it becomes. The occupants scramble out of that vehicle and gun down the rest of the horde. Get off that thing and follow us! One of the 3 newcomers bellowed at Spiff and started running out of the city. Spiff, not being very interested in being eaten alive, charged after them and quickly vanished together into the wilderness to the northwest, skipping most of the city. The group find themselves on a hill with Berezino in the distance. They find a hunter's shack and gather inside it. An explosion echoes through the area, followed by a billow of black smoke. Well, there goes the car. We'll find another one. Maybe an adder if we're lucky. Yeah, sure, maybe this time we won't heroically charge into a horde, and we'll just exit and shoot like actual people. Oh, come on! You know that was awesome and you liked it. Yeah, alright. Now what? Spiff's character's belly grumbles, alerting the others.
Food, I guess.
Yeah, fair. Drop all the munches you got and we'll divide it up. Anybody got anything interesting on them? Still got a tire iron and a car battery. We'll help. Only thing I got is a jar of honey.
I got a crowbar and spark plug if that helps.
That helps massively, actually. We have all we need for a car if we find one. Oh, my name's Norton, by the way. This is Monster and Starcat.
Spiffle. I'm new.
Well, that explains the face. You alien?
Wait, what? Hold on.
Spiff fumbles about with the controls and finds the button that gets him into third person. He finally notices the mod that changes his specific character model to an Eridani human hybrid. It's both disturbing and terrifying. A human face with no nose and violet-coloured skin with pointy ears and ridges down the middle of his skull. No hair or beard, with only 4-digit hands, not 5.
What the actual fuck?
Did you finally notice your custom character model, huh, Spiff? Yeah, you can thank Quell from the Ignis crew for the model and a few others for the coding for it.
On one hand, I am deeply honoured to have a custom thing made for me. On the other hand, this thing is absolutely horrifying.
That's the idea. They all laugh at Spiffle's expense, and Spiffle, also acting as co-editor for this episode, takes a screenshot of the model and displays it for a few seconds. A human Eridani hybrid that's just as terrifying as it is fascinating.
Okay, back on track. We need to head to Kranzo Airfield, and our best bet is the city outskirts, and if we're lucky we can score a car not too near the city centre. Hopefully. Wait, hear that? Airdrop!
Oh, risky. Think we have enough ammo?
If we find something to stand on and then bait them into it, we can save ammo and get rid of the horde. By the way, what's an airdrop?
The sound of a heavy cargo plane engine flying overhead fills the air. All 4 of them quickly hurry outside and watch a trail of red smoke fall over the northern end of Berezino, followed by sounds of gunfire. Sounds like others are already there. The loot drops are insane. Might be something left for us. Here, Spiff, take a stack of ammo. Use it to rearm your mags and eat. Then we'll go join the fight. Link up with other survivors and also get some loot. Hopefully a car.
Is all gameplay for this whole thing supposed to be this frantic?
Yes! Spiffle shrugs and quickly eats the can of tuna he found, as well as giving the can of Fanta to Monster in exchange for a half-empty bottle of water. They quickly check their weapons, ready themselves, and start moving towards Berezino in force. A huge firefight is erupting in the area, with 6 guys being swarmed by at least 100 zombies or more.
We can use the tree line for cover and pick them off from a distance, if you got the aim for it anyway.
The group approaches the outskirts of the city, and uses the tree line as a sniper position. Spiff just watches, owing to the fact he can't hit anything with his loadout at that range. They start firing. Some zombies are drawn out of the crowd and are gunned down, while most are cut down by the defending survivors. It didn't take them too long to finish the job, but a large horde was on the way, drawn in by the gunfire. Spiff's group moves in and finds Rubix, Quail, and Remy, all now infamous within the Milsim community. They yelled at the newcomers and quickly started looting the airdrop as quickly as possible. "Recover what you can carry! Quick, they come!"
Okay then, I guess it's a good thing I found a backpack.
A massive roar echoes across the area, and an ominous church bell begins to toll.
If that's what I think it is, we need to run, now!
Take everything! It doesn't matter what, take it and run!
Get in the car! Wait, we don't have a car. Find a car! Fuck, just run! Well, everyone's panicking, so I guess I should panic too. What's that stomping noise?
The team go into an actual panic, with Rubik screaming uncontrollably as they hastily drive away and Spiffle squealing and going pale with his signature death glare. A giant apartment building-sized zombified bear spewing acid from its mouth appears on the scene and starts chasing the car.
Why is there a giant zombie bear? What is this game?
Shut up and run! The group runs the absolute hell away, being trailed by a newly arrived horde of zombies, drawn in by the screaming. Some zombies move to the city, while a few continue to charge after the group. The sounds of bullets snapping through the air echoes around Spiff as they approach Krasnostav. "Snipers on the roof! Serpentine!"
We're near Kranzo, so I'm not surprised. Keep going. We can get to the airfield and meet up with others. How am I actually running like this? We've been moving for 2 kilometers.
Stamina mod. Otherwise we would all be a bunch of asthmatic fat men. For some reason.
I take it that's a game thing?
Bohemia seem to have that issue with almost any game they make, where stamina and weight are an issue. Everybody hates it, so we mod it out. Building on the left! The church! The group runs into the church and slams the door behind them. They can actually relax for the first time they've actually been here. So they gather up all the loot they got from the airdrop. They fanny about for a bit and eventually get a proper gear set for everyone, leaving Spiff with a shotgun and several stacks of ammo for it. Enough to last. Eventually the group filters out of the church, everyone having their own objectives.
Well, that was something. Seriously, what's with the giant zombie bear? Why was there a giant zombie bear? Can we even kill that? So, Kranzo Airfield, they say, is... Oh, on the map right there. Is there any way I can get in there, maybe? I wonder if these spots have good loot in them.
Spiff wanders about, finding more loot in the local area of Kranzo, finding more shotgun shells, a drum mag for an RPK-74, and a can of tactical bacon. He heads to the airfield, and doesn't like it.
Well then, that's a lot of zombies. And even more bears? Why the bears? Why the zombies? Why all this? How can I get in here? I need loot. Looks like there's some stuff on the other end of the airfield. Looks like an industrial zone, maybe. I'm going to run around and go see what's there.
He gives the entire area a wide berth, and finally heads into the airfield industrial zone. It's a small area, but it has no zombies in it, and Spiff finds, of all things, a large covered truck that only needs a spare tyre to get it to run. Loot spawns are high enough he manages to find the truck's tyre in the industrial vehicle shed nearby. He loads what he can't carry into the truck's trunk, and then drives off towards what he assumes is a fuel station in Svetlogorsk. Olsha itself, a town he has to go past, is infested with zombies, and he has to make some interesting vehicle movements to avoid the horde. He gets to the gas station eventually, not finding a jerry can, but managing to faff about with a large canteen to slowly fill up his new truck. One of the luckiest things he manages to find is an air supply flare, a flare that caused an airdrop. Spiff wisely heads up to a wrecked bus nearby and throws the flare down before climbing on its roof for safety. The drop comes in a few minutes. Spiff takes the time to eat and drink, making sure all his mags are loaded. The drop lands, and he waits to see if anything happens. Then, gunfire. Then the sound of bullets snapping past his head. Someone was shooting at him. Spiff takes a hit, and hastily climbs off the roof of the bus and ducks into the fuel station kiosk, seeing if he can return fire. An unknown player appears from the side, and with reflexes he never knew he had, Spiffle snaps his shotgun onto the guy and scores a 12-gauge headshot. An unknown voice yells out, "Secure the YouTuber!"
There is no YouTuber here. I am Fred. There is no YouTube here.
Spiff says this with an exaggerated, if slightly offensive, accent. "That's Spiffle! Get him!" Spiff squeals in terror as his position is swarmed by dozens of shotgun shells, and he himself is hit several times before going unconscious. Various voices can be heard in the background discussing what to do. Spiff regains consciousness and is being carried by another player, is handcuffed and being led into a church. There, he finds all of them. Remy, Quail, Cypher, Spiffing Brits, Rubik's, Norden, and a few other notable names floating above tied-up characters on the floor.
What is going on?
No idea. They shot me and captured me. I don't know what's going on.
The lack of Yorkshire tea is annoying me.
Wait, how many people do we even have here? How long did it take you to get this sorted out?
Way too damn long.
We have over 300 people for this event. With a new resurgence in Let's Plays and shit, thanks to you, Spiffle, we are all back to doing this job for some extra cash. So we figured, screw it, why not? And we decided to do it right. Organize this event, fix this abomination of a game, and here we are. No idea what's with these guys, though.
Yeah, this is my fault, actually. The event, not the crazy guys.
What do you mean?
I, kinda let it slip while I was doing some tax forms for Outland Revenue, so, I was live streaming making a table and kind of let it slip what I made in ad revenue and donations and stuff from that one Barra Trauma video we made. Turns out the entire galaxy is desperate for any kind of entertainment, and considering we now have an audience of trillions, yeah. So that's how all these people who abandoned their channels centuries ago to do real life things are now here, doing this again. That's my fault. I am sorry.
You are not, and never will be forgiven.
I know.
That reminds me, I haven't actually checked my own income since I started. Probably need to do that.
Silence, YouTubers! The last is about to arrive! A new person is carried into the building. It turns out to be a crazy tuber called Grey Still Plays. Hey, Spiff! I hope you enjoyed the Minecraft copy I bought you. That video was fun!
Oh, so you are the guy that introduced me to that hell game with those sheep things. Yes, I hate sheep.
Silence, YouTubers! Our day has come! The game's speaker system, as seen in the game's trailers, and a mod, suddenly starts up carrying an unknown voice across the entire map.
People of the world, hear us! We are the comment section. We are the viewers, the modders, the voice of the people, and we are here to make our demands. We are holding your precious YouTubers hostage as vet Loras Church, and unless our demands are met, we will subject the YouTubers to the torture of non-copyrighted dubstep remixes of Romanian polka music.
Oh, hell no!
Why did that make me scared?
Our demands are as follows. We demand more videos, more releases. We demand hearts in our comments. We demand more pins on videos. And above all, we demand more cheese! I declare war!
Spiff is visibly confused. His jaw drops, his head tilts, and he almost has a mini stroke as he tries to understand what the hell is going on.
What?
Spiff, I'll explain in detail later, but this is just an internet thing. Too Long didn't read version. These are guys who have coordinated spontaneously to create an event for the server, so everyone can have a sort of impromptu PvP event, and we can screw around a bit. That's why what he said made no sense. It's because he didn't have time to make a proper speech. Hold on. I've sent you instructions on Discord. Follow them and you'll be able to record what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Spiff taps out and follows the instructions, gaining access to VPP Admin Tools admin menu, and then activating the spectator cam. He manages to get it working just as the entire area is swarmed with half the server's players. The comment section versus the players. A battle for the ages, to say the least. The screen shifted to various perspectives as their cameras caught the biggest PvP battle in DayZ history, as 200 players faced off against around 60 members of the comment section. Perspectives from each of the YouTubers recording it via the admin menu provide a showcase of what can be considered reckless human warfare, as a bunch of humans in ragtag armor and clothes with random weapons started to fight. Spiffle, with not very much subtlety, pushed a hotkey on his keyboard and started streaming his version of the recording to the High Council. Everyone let it slide for now anyway, and a battle of epic proportions erupted. The players had a disadvantage as all the commenters were in entrenched positions, with sandbags, barbed wire, and some defensive fortifications built around the church. Spiffle watched with terrified awe as some humans were more capable than others, and grouped up to use a tactical advantage to wipe out several entrenched positions using SWAT tactics and standard military formations. Even with the random weaponry they had, they still made an effective force. The battle, though short, maybe only lasting an hour, was a bloodbath, all captured for consideration by the High Council and by the general viewing audience. Spiffle himself seemed just as terrified as ever as he watched these humans, with no previous loyalties or knowledge, not only win decisive victories with ragtag equipment and no real training, suddenly following the orders of random dudes they just met, but in doing so having decisive victories against entrenched opponents with no casualties. The battle was over quickly, eventually leaving the commenters all dead, having to respawn with no gear and redo it all over again, and the players victorious. The YouTubers were all freed and given a better selection of weapons and gear by the adoring public, then directed to the Northwest Airfield for a final face-off with the boss of the server, the giant flaming zombie bear known as Big Papa.
So, now what?
We retrieve that truck you had, then head to Grishno to stock up and ready an assault on the airfield. Kill every zombie, kill the giant damn zombie bear, then secure the Boeing that's on the tarmac. Then we win.
Easier said than done. Come on!
The group of tubers now find themselves back at Spiffle's captured truck and congratulate him on the loot he found. Apparently somewhat uncommon loot. They all pile in and recover their own vehicles, creating a convoy. The convoy drives through the zombie-infested towns of Chernaya, Zvergino, cutting through the forests to get into Tshirt to skip the night time, then making a beeline to Grishno. They get there, abandon the vehicles, stock up with everything they can, then run to the airfield for the last fight. They approach, and almost immediately are accosted by random zombies, drawn in by an ongoing fight in the middle of the airfield, with dozens of people building hastily constructed fortifications in the airfield with sandbags and wood walls in one of the main hangars, as they are swarmed by infected and being randomly assaulted by the zombie bears that spawn too. The group is being slowly joined by more survivors. Spiffle's group joins up with a contingent of 2 or 3 people with bolt-action rifles and long snipers, taking potshots at Big Papa from one of the control towers to keep him distracted from the hangar fort as they built up. The whole team was using in-game walkie-talkies to communicate. Yet another feat that terrified poor Spiff as he kept recording, showing the council how easy it was for humans to do this. Granted, it's all in the game and the humans are slightly more reckless, but still. Then, Gray pulled out his trump card, a 20mm Anzio rifle. This will piss him off, but I can hold him up here if I'm careful.
Where did you get that? And where did you get the ammo?
Yes.
Fair enough, let's go. We can use the fire station rooftop.
Hold on. I just remembered I have something. Here, Spiff. That's yours now.
Spiff drops an item from his inventory, and Spiffing Brit absolutely loses it in a most British and gentlemanly manner, as Spiff gave him a box of Yorkshire tea. Modded into the game, of course. This sudden access to tea makes Spiffing Brit become exceedingly patriotic in his Britishness, and leads the charge through the horde to the fire station, pulling off maneuvers that would usually get other people killed, and manages to drop a... and manages to drop a frag grenade at the best possible moment to wipe out the horde surrounding the control tower with ease. The explosion got more attention as Grey started to fire on Big Papa, causing significant damage, and also causing Papa to assault the tower. With shocking on-the-spot coordination, they managed to get Big Papa to start becoming blooded up and leaking acid everywhere, and taking out some of the zombie hordes and slowing their spawn rates. At least enough to get the last fortification set up. More survivors filter in. More people with heavier armaments start firing from opposite ends of the airfield. Each one coordinating, again in a frighteningly spontaneous way, to drag Big Papa to different ends of the airfield to help thin the horde and clear the way. Several separate sniper teams coordinate attacking Big Papa, while survivors on various rooftops kill off smaller zombie bears, while the exceedingly patriotic Spiffing Brit, fueled by Yorkshire tea, uses his seemingly infinite collection of frag grenades to clear the field of chasing zombies. Spiffle makes his way through, climbing atop a bus to pick off Zez from his position while Norden and Rubix join him. They hop around, using cars, trucks, and heavy vehicle wrecks to escape the horde, while they slowly inch their way to their main objective, a Boeing 737 parked by the main hangars. Finally! We're here! We gotta fuel it, replace the tires, and fix one of its engines. Anybody got a wrench?
I got a wrench. I can do that. I'll get the tires. Rubik's got the fuel. Spiff fix the engine. The snipers and Brit will keep us safe-ish. Are all these events you guys hold seriously this intense? Yes. Well, that says it all. I still can't believe I'm even here. I used to be an accountant. Welcome to YouTube. Or is it GalaTube now? I don't know. Don't care. It has the word tube in it, so I guess that counts. I don't care. I have Reginald back. Reginald? What's a Reginald? Grey chuckles with the sound of a chicken. Reginald is Grey's mascot, and is a white rooster wearing a top hat. Spiffle can see the creature sitting on the deck of the tower next to Grey. You have a mascot? Maybe I should get one. Yes! Spiffle chuckles, more out of nervousness than anything else, and starts to work. The engine is just a prompt to repair, and it requires his character to just stand there, and an animation plays out. Eventually he manages the job, just as Big Papa goes down from some explosive charges set at one end of the airfield. The survivors quickly gather up, and various scripted events make the scattered debris on or near the runway disappear, or move aside, clearing the way for takeoff. Everyone who can piles in and slaughters any zombie that comes close to the plane, as every remaining survivor on the map is rapidly gathered to join the airfield. Everyone who can come, does. Others trapped by hordes or too far away stay behind to get their own aircraft. The plane starts to take off and leaves the map. The screen fades to black, and the mission is over. Rubix's puppets once again appear. Howdy! Well, that's all for this. Some of us actually tried to get the game working again to keep playing on the server, but the next restart broke everything, and we couldn't do anything about that. So, yeah, this would be our last DayZ standalone video. Like I said at the start, it was an absolute bitch to get this going in the first place, and there was a better option, so the next DayZ you will see will come from that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and links to all the other recently returned YouTube creators will be in the description. See you around! Top comment. Well, that was enlightening. I wasn't expecting DayZ, but I am pleasantly surprised. Weren't you working on a New Vegas playthrough? Spiff's response. Yes, I am. It's taken a while because I'm fixing a rather pertinent crash that keeps occurring, but it is in the works. Have this in the meantime. Good bit of fun with my new community, I suppose. I am dreading the next thing we do, though. You humans are quite terrifying. Top comment. That's okay. Your career is young. You still have much to learn. Smiley face.